Hello all. Today we start with Sir Isaac Newton. Our topic for today is Isaac Newton's laws of motions or simply laws of motions or Newton's laws of motions. Sir Isaac Newton is an English mathematician, physicist, astronomer, and has contributed a lot towards physics and astronomy and, of course, mathematics. Very famous gravitational laws, universal laws of gravitation, then some calculus in collaboration with Greek mathematicians, and then in optics, you all might be aware of the splitting of white light through prism. That is the contribution of Newton. And of course, there is one binomial theorem also in mathematics. That is also the contribution of Newton. So we will be dealing with Newton's laws of motion, a very innovative and thoughtful person who, instead of eating the apple falling down the tree, was thoughtful about why that apple fell, and all that gave rise to these laws of motion and laws of gravitation. Hmm. So, why to study these laws? Of course, that I told you earlier also, that these laws are the foundation of classical mechanics. Classical mechanics are critical to understand how everything from sports to rocket science works. These laws explain how objects move and interact with forces in their environment. It's very simple to understand that how the objects move, why the objects change their place, change their state of rest or motion, and how much motion, how much speed, how much velocity they are having, and why at all these objects are moving. That all is what is contained in Newton's laws of motion. So let's begin with the first, second and third law. There are three laws of motion. We all are aware. हमें सबको पता है तीन laws हैं motion के. तो उसमें हम आगे अब one by one उसको पढ़ेंगे. So Newton's first law, that is known as law of inertia. What is inertia? Inertia is actually the resistance of an object to be in its state of uniform motion or rest. If an object is in rest, suppose an object is at rest, so its tendency is to remain in its state of rest. And that tendency of resistance to change is nothing but inertia, right? So Newton's first law is also known as law of inertia. Why it's known as law of inertia? Inertia, I told you, that is the resistance of an object to change in its state of motion or rest. So the Newton's first law is an object will remain its original state of rest or continue to be in uniform motion. It's not just motion, it's uniform motion unless until acted upon by an external force. External force. What do you mean about external force? Right. Suppose there is one ball is lying here, right? Unless and until I put some external force, it will not move from here to here. This is its new place. It will be until and unless, and it will continue to remain unless I put another force to stop it here, right? अगर एक बॉल यहाँ पर है और मैं वो एक रेस्ट पर है और मैं यहाँ से उसे फोर्स अप्लाई कर रही हूँ, तो वो यूनिफॉर्मली यहाँ पर मूव करना शुरू कर देगा और वो तब तक मूव करेगा जब तक कि एक एक्सटर्नल फोर्स इसको रोक नहीं देती. अनदर फोर्स, पहली फोर्स किस लिए? उसको स्टेट ऑफ रेस्ट से यूनिफॉर्म मोशन में लाने के लिए. और सेकेंड वन उसका मोशन, यूनिफॉर्म मोशन को एट रेस्ट लाने के लिए। ठीक है, एक स्टेट में से एक एक उसकी जो स्टेट है रेस्ट की है या यूनिफॉर्म मोशन की है, उसको चेंज करने के लिए हमें एक एक्सटर्नल फोर्स अप्लाई करनी पड़ेगी। वो रेजिस्टेंट टू चेंज है, उसमें एनर्जिया है, किसी भी ऑब्जेक्ट में एनर्जिया है। एनर्जिया है तो वो चेंज नहीं करेगा, उसको चेंज करने के लिए, उसका स्टेट चेंज करने के लिए उसको एक्सटर्नल फोर्स अप्लाई करना है। एंड दैट इज व्हाट इज न्यूटन्स फर्स्ट लॉ ऑफ मोशन। Now coming towards the application part of Newton's first law, law of inertia, we are having objects under free fall. Any object under free fall, right? Under free fall, we are having what is applied is free fall, gravitational pull is applied. This is the external force acting on the free fall of an object, right? So this is one of the applications. Second, everyone might have set in a vehicle, right? So when a vehicle starts, an engine thrust is required. That external force we start. हम चाबी दे के स्टार्ट करते हैं गाड़ी को, वो एक एक्सटर्नल थर्स्ट है। चाबी या बटन जिससे भी गाड़ी स्टार्ट होती है, आजकल बटन से भी गाड़ी स्टार्ट होती है, तो हम एक एक्सटर्नल फोर्स अप्लाई करते हैं। एक्सटर्नल फोर्स क्या है? वो इंजन जो स्टार्ट होता है, दैट गिव्स द एक्सटर्नल फोर्स, और हम उसमें एक्सेलरेशन प्रोवाइड करते हैं, right? In the second law we will be seeing another time this application. In vehicle we are having one, two, three applications. I'll be talking about it later, but for first law, we apply external force to a vehicle, right? Whatever vehicle is there, so we apply external force to it, right? So that external force is required to make this vehicle to move, and another external force is applied. The brakes are applied. Brake is also a force, a resistance in opposite direction, which is applied to stop the vehicle. So these two processes here, Newton's first law is applicable. We are applying external force for starting the vehicle, for making it from rest to motion, and brakes, another external force for making the vehicle stop. To change its state, we are making the vehicle to change its state of uniform motion to rest, right? Or we increase the speed, so we apply more force and we change its uniform motion, right? There is one more application. We orbits around the sun. There is Earth, or there is Moon also around Earth. So this orbit, this is also the application of this. No external force is applied, so it remains in its state of uniform motion, right? These orbits are also examples. Then third example is seat belt. We need to apply seat belt. Why we need to apply seat belt? When we are sitting in a vehicle, जब हम गाड़ी में बैठते हैं तो गाड़ी चल रही होती है. When vehicle is moving in its speed of uniform motion, in its uniform speed, our body, upper body, and brakes are applied, our upper body tends to move forward. Why? Because of this inertia, right? Resistance to change. We are in motion along with vehicle, so we are not changing. We are not ready to change. So seat belt is applied to block this energy, right? So that we may not get hurt while the vehicle stops. So seat belt is a very, very important application, right? So we should always apply seat belt while we sit in a vehicle, right? Do stick to it for safety purpose also. हम safe रहेंगे तो हम physics भी पढ़ पाएंगे, otherwise हम पढ़ भी नहीं पाएंगे, right? So moving forward, then we are one. There is one more example is aeroplane, right? So we are having planes that are moving, right? We have wings for the space for this plane. So aeroplane, when it takes off, it needs engine thrust, right? It needs engine thrust. Then when it lands this way, when it lands, it needs reverse thrust, right? What is called as reverse thrust? That's engine thrust. One word is engine engine thrust. And for brakes, we are having the term reverse thrust. And this thrust word we use mostly for aeroplanes, right? Okay, so this is all about Newton's first law of motion. Now we come towards Newton's second law. So this is all about Newton's first law of motion, which is law of inertia. An object will remain in its state of rest or continue to be in uniform motion unless acted upon by an external force. So we'll be having a second law of motion with another video. Stay tuned. Thank you.